Now, this picture shows what my friend Adam is 22 now, I guess, 22 or 23, and he is not very verbal. If you spoke to him, he might be able to give you some language back, but not a lot. It's not his best tool. But he has learned over the years, he has developed drawing as communication, and he is a very, very bright person who can put things out in a picture that help you to understand what it's like inside his head. A little while ago, a couple of months ago, his sister, his older sister, took him out on an outing, she and her boyfriend. They went to McDonald's, which is one of his favorite places to go. He loves McDonald's. When they got in there, his sister knew immediately there was going to be a problem because the place was full of little kids. Too many little kids. When Adam drew this, it took him actually about an hour and a half to draw all those little kids. Because they all, if you look at them, they all have different features and different details on them and things like that. It was terrifying for him. All of his life, he's had trouble with the babies. I think it's because they're down here. He can't read them even as well as he reads other people. They do unpredictable things. They're very, very loud. They're terrifying. So when he got to McDonald's and found that the place was all full of terrifying little children, what he did was he wanted to stay there, and his sister knew what the problem was because she knew him very well, and so she knew he wanted to stay there. So they made it work. They made it work, and the sister and the boyfriend tag teamed to get the food from the counter and everything like that, and Adam had his iPad, and they kept him, he kept calm, he kept himself calm, and he tolerated all the little kids. By the time he got out of McDonald's, though, the whole rest of the afternoon that had been planned, all things that he loves to do, that he wanted to do, that he asked to do, was shot. They had to go through the different pieces of it, but he just couldn't manage it. They went to chapters, but he was in and he was out. And then, unfortunately for them, another twist happened. Laura, his sister, forgot her money, and she didn't have her wallet. So they had to leave all the things that he chose for chapters, leave them at the desk, and deal with the wallet. And Adam kept himself together. And there are some very funny pictures, and you can find them actually on the blog. There's the story is out there on my blog of how they dealt with it. By the time Adam came home, after dealing with all of those things, he was done. For the rest of the day, he was done. There's a woman who posts on Facebook. It's another page I would recommend you look at, Carla's ASD page. She's an adult who has a high position in a tech company. She's very, very successful. She also has full-blown autism. And she is very direct about the fact that there are only a certain number of tokens of energy that she has every day to spend. And that social things like this, trying to manage things that are really fundamentally unmanageable, take the tokens away. So you will find sometimes with the kids that you work with that they are on their last nerve, or you go through something which seems usual to you, but suddenly they're on the floor, they're done, they can't do the next thing, and you're like, but he loves that, he always wants to do that. Maybe he spent all his tokens on something like this, and you don't know that that's the case. The most important perspective when dealing with autism, and the one that unfortunately can frequently be neglected as people rush to try to be helpful, is the perspective of the person with autism themselves. There is no perspective more important than the person with autism themselves. And when they are less verbal, it can be hard to figure that out. And oftentimes, you guys are dealing with younger kids, correct? Most of the kids that you're dealing with are younger? Okay. When the kids are little, they are much more one raw nerve. And so things that Adam couldn't stand at all when he was little, that would have sent him screaming out, as an adult he can manage, but it costs him in his energy. When you have them are dealing with little kids, sometimes you're going to get the screaming mimes, a big reaction for something that you don't understand. You don't know what's triggered it. So in terms of your programs, you're going to have to do a lot of talking to the families and things to find out what are the triggers. But you're also going to have to know that every time you get a reaction, there's a reason. There's always a reason, and the kids are not trying to be difficult. They are never trying to be difficult. They may be trying to escape you, but they're not trying to be difficult.